Hello, this is me, Richard Foreman, welcoming you to the last of my series of Dodgy Reg podcasts. In this episode, Reg tries Richard's patience just a little too far and in too many ways, all of which comes to a head when Reg begins to suspect that Richard is writing stories about him. Well, perish the thought. Stories, indeed. Like so many things in this life, this relationship of mine with Dodgy Reg is a distinctly double-edged sword. For all the convoluted and obsessive views he expounds on a regular basis, I've found that certain of his more select insights have been of use to me in my writing. And those views are not all there is to him, anyway. So for all its glitches, I've considered Reg's friendship worthwhile. Just lately, however, things have become somewhat strained. For a start, there was the business about my name. I'm not sure if this one came out of the blue or out of one of our conversations in which I'd asked him if he considered that I was in any danger as a result of my association with him. This was not my considered opinion, of course, but more a logical extrapolation from something he'd told me, with a probable element of tongue-in-cheek. But it seemed to lodge with Reg as an idea to which he owed attention. So one day we were in Bruges, killing rare slack time over some of their coffee. "Almost the real thing," says Reg. And he just came out with it. "Richard, I've been giving this matter some serious thought, and I have come to the conclusion that it might be advisable for you to change your name." Mid-sip, at that very moment, I sputtered. Change my name? You're kidding me. Why would I want to do that? For your own good, obviously. Think about it. You have been privy to a great deal of restricted information, and I'd regret it if anything were to happen to you as a result. I could feel my eyes widening beyond their usual remit. But Reg, every time we get anywhere near the best bits, you always tell me it's not for my ears. One day, Rich, I might not be here. If you knew what I knew, nor might you be. He paused to let that sink in. Nevertheless, I've let you into a few things, and I've been thinking about it, and this is my conclusion. So, what are we talking about? A deed poll job or more of a surface nominal makeover? And how's this going to assist my attempts to get my name known as a writer? Reg looked at me squarely. I don't need to go into the details, surely. You can find out what's required. Research it. Thanks a bunch, Reg. I threw up my hands in mock surrender. I'll just get my career restarted from scratch in a new town with a convenient new identity. No problem. And for once, when he'd gone, I didn't have any reason to reconsider my objections. But that was just the first time he broached it. He's been at me on the name change thing more than once since. Says it's a matter of some importance. It's getting tiresome. As was one particular theory he related to me for a first time as we took a walk through the town park a week or two back. We'd paused on a bench for Reg to construct a roll-up in his usual parsimonious manner, when a couple of teenage lads in tracksuits passed us by. One of them was puffing on a slightly oversized cigarette, and as I caught a whiff of it, the smell was both familiar and illicit. I sighed. "Oh, that takes me back." Reg licked the sticky and sealed his paper around its thin load. Really? You're familiar, I take it, with the role of the CIA in setting up that movement you seem so pleased to have been a part of? I looked away from Reg down the slight incline from where we sat to the boating lake below and pressed palms to my temples. I realised the gesture was a bit overdramatic, but what the hell? He was on the verge of touching on a nerve. Don't tell me! The stuff about David Crosby being a member of the Van Cortlandt family and Jim Morrison being the son of a gung-ho US Navy admiral. Reg humphed and took a draw on his fag. I think you'll find that I don't concern myself with the trivia in this matter. Back in the 60s, the CIA was starting to get worried about the anti-war movement. They needed to discredit it in the eyes of the public. Yes, Reg, I don't need a lecture on this. That theory's common knowledge. Just Google it and up it comes. And whilst I can see there may have been attempts to manipulate the situation, I don't think that is the sole reason for the emergence of hippies, or that it was, for a while at least, in anyone's control. Reggie's voice took on a mature tone. There's a lot more to it than that, Rich. I was about to take you a little deeper. My voice raised several notches in volume, despite my attempts to maintain control. I don't want to know about it, Reg. Really? Well, he responded, sucking and flaring his ciggy as it burned rapidly down. Denial's a funny thing, ain't it? That wasn't the last reference to hippies working for the system either. He seems to be deriving some form of amusement from needling me about it. I try not to rise to the bait, but damn it, the subject is close to my heart. I guess it might be payback for all the sarky remarks I've made concerning the credibility of his theories, but I don't deserve this. Change my name. Consider a significant amount of my past was built on trembling ground. And then there's what damn well happened yesterday. The knock was louder and more urgent than usual. I opened the door and was instantaneously the recipient of a dodgy Reg hard stare. Richard, let's not go into the usual jollities. I have a matter of some importance to discuss with you. I stepped to one side and waved him in. Hi, yourself. Do you want a coffee before we start, then? Let's keep it formal this time, shall we? Face to face, no props. With some surprise, I said, Reg, what is this about? And I could hear the exasperation in my voice even as I spoke. I intend to come straight to the point as it happens. I have a question for you. Have you, or have you not, been writing stories about me? Good grief, man. What makes you think I would do that? I've told you how I create characters in stories. They're composites, mix and match. Composites, yes. Facets of one character juxtaposed with those of another, I believe you once told me. So which of my facets have you been using, Richard? If not all of me, which parts? We'd taken seats, but he was tense, leaning forward, his eyes firmly fixed on mine. I felt like a man in a hot spotlight. Obviously, I should have known this question would reach me sooner or later. It would only take a word from someone like Slack Jack at the bookshop, and the idea would be lodged in Reg's brain. It was going to take a lot more than a simple denial to dislodge it. If I were to write anything about you, I began. It would be based on fact, yes? Well, I've not done that. I've created fictions. It's like they say in the book disclaimers, does not bear any resemblance to any person living or dead, or whatever the words are. His body shifted, a slight relaxation back into his seat. I was willing him to get his baccy out, scrounge a coffee and start rolling up, but he still wasn't quite ready for that. Oh, I see. He stroked the tangles of his beard a little. I need more. I need more reassurance than that. I need to know that you do not intend to write or get published any stories concerning me or bits of me. Do you understand? I shrugged my shoulders lightly. I do. Rest assured that I do not intend to write or get published any stories concerning you or bits of you. Would you like me to add, so help me God, Reg? That won't be necessary. Fact is, my friend, it's probably for your benefit as well that you reveal nothing at all about me. Know what I mean? And at last the old Holborn emerged from his pocket. Now, how about one of those crap coffees of yours? Well, bugger it. I'm not happy. I'm not happy at all. This is the 14th of my Dodgy Reg stories, and I'd got plans for them. Big plans. And now, no one will ever read them, or hear them being read. No one at all. But I've made a commitment. I can't go back on it. And I won't. Trust me. I'm a writer. A huge thanks to any of you who have listened to all or even some of my encounters with Dodgy Reg. If you've enjoyed them, please pass it on to anyone you know who might also enjoy them. Send them a link. Help me to go viral, which will take quite some time yet. Check out my website. And if you haven't already done so, buy my book of exquisite short stories, Willful Misunderstandings. Hopefully, it won't be too long before I'm back podcasting with something new. Goodbye for now.